now we're in the library, our learning commons, because there's so much more things that happen in elementary school library these days. One of the things, or two of the things that we have here at Malvern, a lot of schools in McKinney have it, is there's Plaker space, and these are play-based activities. A lot of them are STEM. This is a little robot that the kiddos can code to do different things. There's puzzles, I Spy, magnets, and these are geared towards the younger ones. There's also like some playhouse things, Legos. Kids love it. They come down here to not realize how much they're learning, but also how to work together. We come around here, this is our maker space. A lot of this month, the MRS, there's a leprechaun challenge, so you get to build, give you all the materials, and then you build a leprechaun trap. There's big Uno cards, Jenga, cup challenge. There's some more Osmo robots. Kiddos love this, and it extends their learning, and there's lots of challenges, and so the kids are really excited about it. This is our professional library, laminator area. So if we have anything mentioned in our professional developments, this is where you'll find it. And if you don't find it here, the librarian is very up to ordering books that will enhance our abilities to teach with the best upcoming techniques. That's the checkout, and over here is the computer lab. It's a full room of computers, and it has about 45 computers in there. So if you're doing, whole group testing, this is where you go because you can get everybody done. It's kind of a contained area. So come on this way. So this is our courtyard. There's some benches and tables over there. We can teach out there. And like I was saying before, we have an environmentally sustainable school. And that's one of our 6 cisterns that collects water that runs off of the roof. And then there's some pumps in there that help irrigate the area around it. Our 6 cisterns provide storage for about 68,000 gallons of water. And we also have solar panels on our roof that help heat our water, and it really helps bring down our energy costs. Around the corner, and we're not going to go now because it's raining, there's 2 sundials on and every year they come and they calibrate it in some way. It's really cool to watch. And then there's some student areas that we can garden with them, and it said that we had a water feature, and the water out there's our water feature. But the kiddos can come in here and read, and they're welcome here. And we also have professional development in here because it's really the biggest space that we have, and we have a smart board there in case any visuals need to be brought up. So why don't we come down, sit down, and I'll tell you about Malvern's mission and vision, and a little bit about our student demographics. So Malvern's vision, mission is to educate and inspire children to have strong character and become college-ready lifelong learners. We try to provide engaging activities, as we see here, as well as what we provide through the curriculum. We have about 522 students, and we're about 56% Hispanic, 22% Black or African American, 15% white, and then 7% other. We have 79% of our students are economically disadvantaged, and 14% of our students receive some type of special service, and 1% is labeled gifted and talented. We have a very, very diverse population, which is why we thought that having that multicultural fair would have been so beneficial to our kiddos to be able to show off their cultures. We're a bilingual, one-way dual language program, and to help Spanish-speaking students become biliterate, where they are able to use both languages and to become culturally proficient. So, like I said, we have a high poverty level student families here. Later, when we go down to the other side of the hallway, I'll show you the office that is called Communities in Schools. And it helps provide backpack snacks on Friday, which kiddos who really all you have to do is ask for it. They will give the kiddos a backpack full of food that will get them through the weekend until they can kind of come back to school and get their breakfast and lunch. We have about 78% of our kiddos are free and reduced lunch, which gives us our title label. CIS also provides coats, backpacks and supplies in the beginning of the year, and then winter coats and hats and gloves for the winter for those kiddos that just don't have, the parents don't have the means to get it for them. They take care of them to make sure that they're fed and that they're warm, and at least we can take care of them in that way. It's hard to teach a kid who's hungry. It's hard to teach a kid who's feeling uncomfortable and doesn't have the proper clothes to come to school. So we also have a very high mobility rate, meaning we have about 27% of our population is in and out within a year, which poses a great problem for them to be able to kind of get grounded in their school, for teachers to, identify what they need and then nurture them to get them where they're going. But we have the problem is that we have low student achievement. So we're considered a TIP school, which is called a Targeted Improvement Plan campus. But we've made efforts in aligning curriculum and things like that. So, and the cycle 2, we just showed some major improvement from the beginning of the year to the middle of the year, just given some of our really targeted, aimed practices at improving lesson delivery of the curriculum. So,
you mentioned that you are a Title I campus. What does that mean?
Okay, so the basic principle of being a Title I campus is that there's a higher concentration of low-income students that receive supplemental funds. And so we receive supplemental educational funds to help in all of their needs. The number of low-income students is determined by how much of the population is actually receiving free and reduced lunch. So that'll be gauged on their income level of the family. The funds that we receive here, because we have students with such high needs, will help us have advancements for curriculum, instructional activities, more counseling, programs to improve parental involvement, and increase staff and program improvement. It just helps us overall help them reach their educational and emotional needs, but mostly their everything, a little bit of everything. So the types of students of Title I funds are migrant students, limited English proficient students, newcomers, homeless students, students with disabilities, neglected students, delinquent students at risk, really any student that is in need. And the schools have to make yearly adequate progress on state testing to continue to receive these funds, which is why the state is giving grades now that if you are not making yearly adequate yearly progress, you are might lose the funding. So that's why we're making all of those attempts to improve our scores. 10.
You mentioned that you are a bilingual campus. Can you tell me more about that program?
Sure. So we have a very high concentration. Like I said before, 56% of our students are Hispanic. Not all are bilingual. There's a criteria for that. to enter that program. Once you can exit that program, you go into a monolingual class where you are serviced through ESL, English as a Second Language, and are provided some accommodations to support your language needs. And the bilingual is a 50-50 model where they teach both in Spanish and English, and they want to develop the students' listening, reading, writing, and speaking abilities. They just want to see some growth. But like I said, the aim is to make them a truly biliterate student where they are speaking and reading and writing in both languages, which will help them become more successful. We also have ESL, which is English as a Second Language, and we don't only have Spanish students in that program. Those, every teacher in McKinney ISD has to be ESL certified, and to provide supports for really it's good teaching. And then accommodations are made to support their language development. All right, we'll go. All right, so we're gonna just cut here, and then we're gonna continue on our tour.